Clash of the Titans. Coco Gauff versus Aryna Sabalenka. Do or die at the WTA Finals. The city lights of Riyadh glowed like molten gold as the night settled over the WTA Finals arena, a place that had become a battleground for the fiercest warriors women's tennis had ever seen. The stakes were clear, the tension suffocating, the energy electric. This was not just another match. This was a do-or-die collision between two forces of nature. Coco Gauff, the American prodigy with a heart of fire, and Aryna Sabalenka, the world number one, feared for a thunderous power and warrior spirit. Everything, pride, legacy, survival, hung in the balance. Tonight was a night the world had been waiting for. The weight of expectation for Coco Gauff, the walk from the locker room to the court felt strangely heavier tonight. She wasn't just carrying a rack and a dream. She was carrying the weight of a season, filled with triumphs, doubts, tears, and rebirth. Just last year, she'd lifted her first Grand Slam trophy, and with it came a new identity, a champion expected to win, expected to dominate, expected to rise. But champions are human, and Coco had spent months fighting her own shadows, pressure, criticism, the endless comparisons, the relentless spotlight. Tonight felt like her chance to reclaim her narrative, to remind the world why her name echoed in stadiums across continents. As she stepped onto the court, the roar from the crowd washed over her like a tidal wave. Signs lit up the stadium. Go Coco, champion, energy, believe, she whispered to herself. This is what I was made for. Meanwhile, across the net, Aryna Sabalenka stood tall and still like a lion is, stalking the moment before the hunt. Her expression unreadable, her shoulders wide, her confidence unbroken. She had dominated the season, claimed the world number one ranking with power that shattered rackets and records. She wasn't here to play a match. She was here to defend her crown. To Sabalenka, pressure didn't crush, it ignited her. The rivalry built on fire. This wasn't the first time these two had collided. Their history was already carved into the heart of modern tennis. Explosive, emotional, electric, patience versus power, agility versus brutality, youth versus world-beating experience. Coco had beaten Sabalenka before. Sabalenka had crushed Coco before. Every match felt like a story written in lightning. But tonight's chapter was different. Tonight, both needed to win to reach the semifinals. There was no backup plan, no plan B, no safety net, just victory or elimination. The first set, Sabalenka. Storm. From the very first ball, Sabalenka unleashed her signature storm. A serve that cracked through the air like a cannon. A forehand that echoed like thunder. A backhand cross-court that left streaks of fire in its wake. Coco scrambled, slid, stretched, fought, but Sabalenka was played with the fury of a queen defending her empire. 4-1, 5-2, 6-3. The first set was Sabalenka's statement to the world. I am the number one for a reason. But Coco was not broken. She had learned throughout her young career that matches are not won by the first punch. They are won by the last. She wrapped a towel around her shoulders and stared at the ground, breathing quietly. Her coach's voice echoed in her mind. Stay in the fight. Pressure opens cracks. Find them. The second set, Coco's rise. When Coco returned to the baseline, something had changed. Her footwork sharpened. Her returns deepened. Her eyes hardened. This was the Coco who had stunned the U.S. Open, who had silenced critics who had risen from heartbreak again and again. Sabalenka's first serve flew in at 198 km/h. Coco blocked it back with clean, fearless swing. The rally grew longer, heavier, louder. Then boom, Coco ripped the backhand with it down the line. The stadium exploded. Suddenly the momentum trembled, shifted. Coco held, then broke, then held again. Her speed was unreal. She chased down balls no human should reach. She turned defense into art. She made Sabalenka hesitate, doubt, blink. At 5-3, Coco stepped up to the line. One more game to take the set. Sabalenka roared with every shot, blasting power like a warrior refusing to kneel. But Coco absorbed the power, turned it into something beautiful, something fierce. Match point, a 23 shot. Rally, a test of heart, lungs, willpower. Coco attacked with forehand. Cross court, Sabalenka counter with a deep backhand. Coco retrieved with a lunge. Sabalenka fired again and Coco sent a laser down the line. Second set, 6-3. CocoGauff. A roar erupted, so loud the arena shook. This was now a battle of equals. The final set, war. The third set felt like a movie scene, written in fire. Every game stretched into battles within battles. Every point felt like a heartbeat taken hostage. Every cheer was a scream of faith. Sabalenka went up 2-0. Coco caught up 2-2. Sabalenka held 4. 3-2. Coco answered 3-3. Bodies were sweating, arms trembling, but neither woman blinked. This wasn't tennis anymore. The final game, do or die. Coco walked the baseline slowly, almost peacefully. She closed her eyes, inhaled deeply. She could hear her fans chanting her name. She could feel the moment swelling around her. But Sabalenka wasn't finished. She had come too far, fought too long, shattered too many barriers to surrender. Now, Coco's first. Serve fault. Second serve, an explosive rally. Sabalenka crushing inside out. Forehand winner. 0-15. The world held its breath. Coco steadied herself. Next, point, ace down the tee. 15-15. The crowd erupted. Third point, a 17 shot. Exchange ending with Coco painting the line. 30-15. But Sabalenka fired back with a blistering forehand. Return. Winner 30-30. 2 points from the match. 2 points from elimination. 2 points from history. Coco tossed the ball high. A deep serve. Sabalenka chipped it. Coco stepped in and smashed a forehand. Winner 40-30. Match point. The world froze. Coco served wide. Sabalenka stretched. Flicked back a defensive slice. Coco approached the net. Sabalenka lifted a desperate lob. The ball hung in the air like a slow-motion dream. Coco jumped, swung, and crushed the overhead. The stadium exploded. Coco fell to her knees. Sabalenka dropped her racket. The lights blazed as if celebrating a queen. CocoGauff had survived the do-or-die battle. CocoGauff had conquered the Titan. CocoGauff had earned her place in the semifinals. The emotion after the storm. As Coco stood up, tears pulled in her eyes. Tears of relief, joy, exhaustion, triumph. The match had pushed her to the edge of her soul. The pressure that had suffocated her for months finally cracked open and released. Something beautiful. Sabina walked over, placed a hand on Coco's shoulder, and whispered something only they heard. Respect between warriors. A moment for history. The cameras zoomed in as Coco lifted her racket toward the sky. She wasn't just a young star anymore. She wasn't just a champion. She was a fighter reborn, a titan in her own right. And tonight, the world bowed. Epilogue. The legend continues. Commentators called it the greatest match of the tournament. Fans flooded social media with clips, quotes, and Tears. The tennis world buzzed with one question: who can stop Coco now? But for Coco Gauff, this wasn't about the world's expectations anymore. It was about her heart, her journey, her belief. Tomorrow, another battle waits. But tonight, she was a warrior who walked through fire and came out shining. Thank you for watching. Please, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next,